Hello and welcome. We are back with TISSNET 19 as we had promised in the last session of our SNAP GK. Again, it will be a series of sessions for TISSNET. And if you really want to receive updates and if you really want to receive timely updates on these sessions, please subscribe to our channel and click and check the bell icon. Most of these sessions will also be useful for CMAT because of the static element of the CMAT GK. So let us get started. So let us first of all have a look at the agenda for this session. We will first talk about what is the TISSNET exam like and the exam pattern, and then we will talk in detail about GK and what has been asked in the last 3-4 years. Once again, I have ignored the TISSNET pattern prior to 2014. So what I have primarily considered is the pattern followed by TISSNET from 2014 onwards to 2015 onwards, 15, 16, 17 and 18. That gives us a pretty good idea of what kind of questions can be expected. And I must say I'm impressed. They don't leave out anything in their GK section. Almost every area they will ask some questions or the other. So TISSNET is an exam conducted by the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, the first institute of social work instituted in India. This was way back in 1936. And they conduct some unique programs in health, programs in education, programs in social work, uh, programs in labor and management, programs on rural management, and so on. And they offer MA, that is Master of Arts, MPhil, and PhD programs in most of these areas. So TISSNET is basically conducted for admission to its MA programs. I don't think we can talk about scope of these programs, because that in itself will become one whole session. So I'll just ignore that. Now let us get started with the exam pattern. So if you look at the paper pattern of TISSNET 2018, 17, 16, 15, we've identified, as I said, after 2014 I have looked at the pattern. The pattern is pretty much similar: GK, QA, DI, LR and verbal ability, 3 sections. So they have 100 questions to be solved in 100 minutes. There is no negative marking, which means all of you should attempt all the questions. And the cutoffs have ranged from 65 to 80, around 80 marks for the general category for their main program. There could be other cutoff for the other programs. The main program is the program in industrial relations, which they offer. And calling it their main program is kind of risky. So it is the most sought after program which will have cutoffs in the vicinity of 75 to 80. Last 2 years that has been the case. And because GK forms 40 of those 100 questions, it's a very big percentage of marks that GK accounts for. And hence, GK becomes the major differentiator in case of TISS. Let us check out more on GK. So it's a very, very balanced section. As I said earlier also, I'm impressed. Simply because they have tested everything. I mean, they've not left out a single topic out of these topics which they've mentioned. If there are 40 questions, I have seen around 3 to 4 questions on almost all these areas: politics, social studies, science and technology, environment, sports, arts and culture, Indian history. The good part is they are not looking for too specific know-how. They are looking for a general understanding of issues related to this. And as I said, there are 3 to 4 questions from each of the topics above. 70 to 75% of the questions were static in the last 3 to 4 years. And therefore, we simply cannot ignore static GK in the preparation for TISSNET. The rest is all current affairs. But as I said, if you are looking for current affairs alone, then you should definitely go back to those 5 sessions of SNAP which I shared with you earlier on. You can watch those sessions for current affairs. That's almost a very comprehensive coverage of current affairs for the whole year. These sessions I will be concentrating again. 70 to 75% of each session will be static, and 20 to 25% will be current affairs related to that area. Every session I will devote to one area. Like today's session is devoted to environment. So today I will cover everything that I can related to environment, which can be called as broad-based know-how on environment, starting with the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So all the questions that you will see today in today's sessions will be based on in some way related to environment, climate change, biodiversity, and so on. So let us get started. Question 1. The Secretariat of UNFCCC is situated in. The correct answer is Bonn, which is situated in Germany. Now, UNFCCC basically stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. We will talk about it shortly. The parties to the UNFCCC meet every year to assess the progress made in dealing with climate change. This meet is popularly known as. The correct answer is Conference of Parties. And this year we also heard about COP24. We will talk about COP24 in this session. Now, UNFCCC, as I told you, it stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It was held during the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. This framework convention and agreement came into effect from 1994. It was agreed that global warming should be limited to below 2 degrees compared to the pre-industrial levels. The Secretariat of UNFCCC is in Bonn, Germany, and the current executive secretary is Patricia Espinosa. Next question. Which of the following countries has withdrawn from the Kyoto Protocol? The correct answer is Canada. Now, first thing is we must understand what is Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol is named after the city in which this COP3, that is Conference of Party number 3, was held. It was held in the city of Kyoto in Japan, after which the name Kyoto Protocol. Now, what this Kyoto Protocol does is it extends the United Nations Framework Conference on Climate Change and makes it binding on the developed and the developing nations to cut down on their gas emissions to avoid a 2-degree rise in the surface temperatures of the earth. And this is why Kyoto Protocol is a very significant milestone in the fight against climate change. And Canada, after years of inaction on the climate front, had to come out of it in 2011 to avoid around $14 billion in penalties. That is why Canada had to withdraw from the Kyoto Protocol. Next, Montreal Protocol is concerned with, and the correct answer is ozone layer depletion. In fact, Montreal Protocol follows the Vienna Convention, which was held in 1985, where for the first time a multilateral agreement was signed to reduce the production of all substances that cause ozone layer depletion, basically substances like chlorofluorocarbons. And Montreal Protocol was as a follow-up action on Vienna Convention. It was agreed upon in 1987 August and it came into force from 1989 August. And it is considered as one of the most successful international treaties that has been signed. And probably by 2050 to 2070, it is expected that almost all negative impact of chlorofluorocarbons will vanish based on the action taken by all the signatories to this agreement. Next question. ODA stands for which of the following? So it stands for ozone depleting substance. It's a short form for ozone depleting substance. Next, which of the following is not a direct impact of global warming? Your options: 1 is rise in sea level, 2 changes in rainfall pattern, 3 melting of glaciers, 4 loss of plankton due to warming of seas. The correct answer here is none of these. So global warming will cause all these 4 things: rise in sea level, changes in rainfall pattern, melting of glaciers, and loss of plankton due to warming of seas. Now, what is plankton? So plankton are a variety of organisms that live in large water bodies and that are not able to swim against the current. and they basically are a source of food to many large aquatic organisms such as fish. These organisms, the plankton, include bacteria, algae, protozoa, and so on. Next question, which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? Now, one is carbon dioxide, second is methane, third is nitrous oxide, and fourth is water vapor, and then you have these four options. So the correct answer is none of these, because all these four gases are greenhouse gases. Even ozone is a greenhouse gas. Now, without these greenhouse gas, the average Earth's temperature would be around minus 18 or minus 20 degrees centigrade. These greenhouse gases ensure that Earth remains warm and is fit for life to proliferate. Next question, which of the following is the common name of black carbon? The correct answer is soot. Next question, the chemical symbol for ozone is, the correct answer is O3. Next question, which of the following is a unit of measurement of quantity of ozone in the atmosphere? So the correct answer is Dobson Unit. It is named after its founder. Next, a carbon credit is, the correct answer is it's a tradable certificate representing a right to emit 1 ton of carbon dioxide or equivalent. At this juncture, it is also important to understand what is carbon emissions trading, because carbon credits are used for carbon emissions trading. Let's say there are two countries, country X and country Y. Both these countries will have an allowable limit of carbon emission. That is, there will be a certain level of carbon emission beyond which these countries cannot emit. Now suppose country X, it emits less carbon than the allowable limit, and country Y emits more carbon than the allowable limit. So country X can sell carbon credits, that is a certificate which represents the right to emit more, to country Y. And in this way, country X gets compensated for using environment friendly technology. Next, what does the acronym INCAA stand for? The correct answer is Indian Network on Climate Change Assessment. Now, what is this Indian Network on Climate Change Assessment? It is a network of scientists in India which publishes peer-reviewed findings on climate change in India. So next, India celebrated the year 2018 as the year of millets. Which year is going to be celebrated as the International Year of Millets? The correct answer is 2019, and this was also proposed by India. Now the question is, many people do not know what are millets. So basically millets, the major millets are jawar, bajra and ragi. What about cereals? Which crop are called cereals? Rice, wheat, maize, barley, oats. These crops are cereals. Next question, NGT stands for? NGT stands for National Green Tribunal. The correct answer is National Green Tribunal. Next question, CEPI is an initiative of which of the following institutions? The correct answer is Central Pollution Control Board. Now, what is the CEPI? So, CEPI stands for Central Environmental Pollution Index, which is being brought out by Central Pollution Control Board. Next, what is LABL? The correct answer is it is a campaign by TERI that promotes the use of solar lanterns. Now, LABL, the campaign, the name of the campaign is Lighting a Billion Lives. Now, it's a campaign which promotes the use of solar lanterns, and TERI stands for the Energy Resources Institute of India. It was earlier known as the Tata Energy and Resources Institute and was founded by Darbari S. Seth. Next, the Pink Revolution is concerned with the production of which of the following? The correct answer is prawn production. So let us look at some of the other popular revolutions. Green revolutions concerned with food grain production, golden revolution with fruit production, grey revolution with fertilizer production, blue revolution fish production, black revolution petroleum production, pink revolution as we've just seen prawn production, red revolution meat or tomato production, silver revolution egg/poultry production, white revolution milk production, Yellow revolution, oil seeds production. Next question. The aim of the Stockholm Convention is to. So the aim of the Stockholm Convention was to eliminate or restrict the use of POPs. POP stands for persistent organic pollutants. So what is a persistent organic pollutant? It's a organic chemical substance, basically substance that contains carbon, and these substances remain intact for long periods of time, and they basically accumulate in fatty tissues and are toxic to human and plant life. So these are persistent organic pollutants. Next, now some of the major conventions here. Stockholm Convention, it's an international treaty that aims to eliminate the production of POP, and the key element in this convention was that developed nations had to provide additional financial resources to eliminate POPs that are intentionally produced, which means that are manufactured or that are anthropogenic. Anthropogenic means here produced by human effort. Some examples of POPs: DDT, chlordane, aldrin, hexachlorobenzene, polychlorinated biphenyls. So you need to remember Stockholm Convention aims to eliminate persistent organic pollutants. Next, Basel Convention. The aim of this convention was reduction of hazardous waste generation and promotion of environmentally sound management of hazardous wastes wherever the place of disposal. Now, two things in this convention. Number one, you reduce the production of hazardous waste, and if hazardous waste is produced, you manage it properly and dispose it off properly. So, a regulatory system applying to cases where transboundary movements are permissible was also developed, because there was a restriction on transboundary movement of hazardous wastes under this convention. Next, Rotterdam Convention. It was adopted in 1998, came into force in 2004. It covers pesticides and industrial chemicals that have been banned or severely restricted for health or environmental reasons. It's a multilateral treaty, and it promotes shared responsibilities in relation to importation of hazardous chemicals. Next, Ramsar Convention. It's an international treaty for conservation and sustainable use of wetlands. It is also known as Convention on Wetlands. It is named after the city of Ramsar in Iran, where the convention was signed in 1971. 2nd February every year is celebrated as World Wetlands Day. India has 26 Ramsar sites. Next, the Minamata Convention was held in the Japanese city by the same name. The treaty signed during the meet was to combat health hazards arising out of. The correct answer is mercury and mercury compounds released as a result of human activity. So Minamata Convention on Mercury, this was in 2013. It's an international treaty to protect human health and environment from anthropogenic emission and releases of mercury and mercury compounds. Anthropogenic here means which are created out of human activity. So we are not against mercury or mercury compounds occurring naturally, but it is the mercury that is produced because of human activity. And it was adopted in 2013 and named after the Japanese city of Minamata, where the convention was held. Next, acid rains are produced by. The correct answer is excess of nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide from burning fossil fuel. Now these two gases, they have the potential of rising very high in the atmosphere, and they get mixed with water and oxygen to form acidic rain. Next question, which of the following is not a pollutant? The correct answer is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not actually poisonous, or it's not harmful, it's not toxic for either plants or animals. Next, the upper part of sea aquatic ecosystem contains which of the following? The correct answer is plankton. Next question, greenhouse effect is warming due to. The correct answer is C. Increase in temperature due to increase in carbon dioxide concentration of atmosphere. So CO2 is not toxic, but the increase of CO2 will cause the temperature to rise because CO2 is a greenhouse gas. Next, the gas released during Bhopal gas tragedy was methyl isocyanate. Next question. The most hazardous metal pollutant of automobile exhaust. Metal pollutant of automobile exhaust. The correct answer will be lead. Next. This year, the PETA Person of the Year award has been given to. The correct answer is Sonam Kapoor. She has been given this award because of her vegan diet that she promotes and follows herself, and because she keeps her animal skins out of her fashion wear and out of her bags also. Anushka Sharma got it the last year. Imran Hussain, incidentally, he is a minister with the Delhi government and he got it for banning manja. The Chinese manja, which contains glass, has the potential to harm birds and even children. And because he banned Chinese manja, he got Hero to Animal Award from PETA. PETA stands for Prevention People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Next. Which railway station has achieved the distinction of being the first energy efficient A1 category railway station in India? The correct answer is Kachigoda in Tamil Nadu. Next. Which plant has been removed from the purview of Indian Forest Act? The correct answer is bamboo, specifically because its classification is as a grass. So it's been removed from the Indian Forest Act. Next, which nitrogen oxide is one of the major pollutants released from automobile exhausts? The correct answer is NO. What is the maximum permissible level of chlorides in drinking water according to WHO? The correct answer is 600 milligram per liter. Next question. What is the color code of a container which is used to collect waste material from hospitals? The correct answer is blue. Next. What are Halon 1211 and 1301? So these are gases used for fire extinguishers. Next. Which of the following chemical can cause blue baby syndrome? The correct answer is nitrates. In fact, babies, if they accidentally consume water with nitrates or excess of nitrates, might suffer from blue baby syndrome, which means that the blood is not getting oxygenated properly and can change hemoglobin to methemoglobin, which is blue in color and which also decreases the ability of blood to carry oxygen. In infants, this is situation or this condition can sometimes turn fatal also. Next, the term of Kyoto Protocol has been extended beyond 2012 by how many years? The correct answer is 8 years till 2020. Next question. What does the acronym REDD Red stand for? It stands for reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. Next question. The treatment recommended for human anatomical waste generated from hospitals is, obviously, anatomical waste of humans is incinerated, which means it is burnt in an incinerator. Next, the Mercalli scale is used for measuring which of the following? The correct answer is it is used to measure the intensity of an earthquake. Mind you, the word is intensity because there is another scale which is more commonly used and is called as the Richter scale, which measures the magnitude of the earthquake. Now, Mercalli scale divides earthquakes into 12 categories from category 1 to category 12. Category 1 stands for an earthquake which is hardly felt or which is not felt at all, whereas the category 12 earthquake is totally destructive with nothing remaining. The other scale, developed by Charles Richter, known as the Richter scale, measures the magnitude of the earthquake. Next, humans can get black foot disease by drinking water contaminated with. The correct answer is arsenic. So, drinking water contaminated with arsenic can lead to black foot disease, which is a severe form of peripheral vascular disease in which the blood vessels in the lower limbs are severely damaged, resulting eventually in progressive gangrene. Next, Taj Mahal is threatened due to the impact of which of the following gases? The correct answer is sulfur dioxide. And that brings us to the question of the day. The question is regarding the Cartagena Protocol. The Cartagena Protocol is regarding the safe use, transfer, and handling of which of the following four options? Living modified organisms, nuclear waste, alien species, and ozone depleting substances. Please write your answers in the comments box below and write as many things as you know about this. Also, comment if you wish to know about a specific topic related to environment or any specific topic related to TISS, and we will try to accommodate that topic or those things in future sessions. With this, we come to an end of this first part of the environment GK for TISS. I hope you liked and benefited from it. In case you want to give any feedback or if you want to communicate something with us, please do write your comments and we will be happy to make amendments accordingly. Thank you very much.